Let's work on our puppy dog quilt some more. While y'all watch me cut this out, I'm trying to answer some sewing questions. So today, let's talk about how to preserve a quilt. Let's start with the fact that your grandmother never intended that quilt to be folded up and put in a closet or in a chest or in the attic or wherever you have it so that the future generations can enjoy it. Because guess what? It'll never mean anything to them. When I made my very first quilt, the very first one that I ever made, I was so proud of it. And I was very proudly telling a good friend's mom, who was in her 80s probably at the time, how proud I was of this quilt and how when I was finished, I was going to fold it up and put it in the top of my baby's closet so that he could have it when he was grown. And she said, absolutely not, Tammy. She said, and I quote, let that baby drag it through the mud if that's what he wants to do. And I was taken aback. I thought she would be so proud of me for wanting to preserve this heirloom that I had created. She said, Tammy, if you don't let him use it, it'll never mean anything to him. It will forever be something that was folded up in the top of the closet. And I repeat these words to my sewing students all the time because to this day, it is the second best piece of advice I've ever received. That quilt holds so many memories for him now. It was on his bed when he was a little fella, and he used the strips on it as the roads for his cars. It was with him at his Little League games. It spent the night with him in his tent the night he crossed over from Cub Scouts to Boy Scouts. It brought him comfort when he went away to summer camp. Y'all, I might cry just making this voiceover, thinking about all the things that this quilt has done with him. So y'all use the quilt, cherish the quilt, love the quilt the way that your grandmother's intended for you to. And the first best piece of advice I've ever received was from the same lady. And she told me when I was pregnant with that little fella, who's now 22, that I needed to rock him until his feet drug the floor. She was obviously a very wise lady. Now, this is your reminder. Go get that quilt out of the chest and let your family use it. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher, and I would love for you to come sew with me.